What was that finish from Sesko? Look, I'm frustrated the fact that we played against a low block, the kryptonite of Manchester United. But I still can't get my head around how that turned into a goal. How on earth did Sesko finish that? Someone tell me. United dropping points there against West Ham, a draw, the fair right result. It was like pulling teeth that first half. He had absolutely no right to score from that. Sesko, take a bow, lad. But my word, is there frustration after watching that game? That's going to be the overarching feeling. Can United do it against a low block? Is a question that we have asked in 2026, 2025, 2024, 2020. I mean, sod knows how many years now. And the answer is still no. West Ham, they sat They sat in their shape. To be fair to them, Bowen was excellent. Bowen always has a good game against us. Souček always has a good game against us. I swear to God. And Wan-Bissaka clearing one off the line. Always. United dropping 2 points there. Dropping 2 points? I don't really think that's a fair reflection of the game. United getting a draw against West Ham at London Stadium. But United coming up against a team that sits deep and sits in shape, and we just didn't have... There's multiple ways, I suppose, you can break down a low block. That was a game where I'm going to speak about that a little bit later. Right, I'm definitely speaking about that. Bruno Fernandes was hardly in the game. There was so much central congestion, so many bodies in the middle, that Bruno could hardly find any space. That's why Cunha went off for Sesko, because there was no point in having him on, because we couldn't make any runs in behind, because they were sitting so deep on the edge of their own box. So I was hoping that we were going to see some more threat from our wide men. Ahmad, hardly in the game in the first half. Better in the second half, but still not as much as Ahmad would normally be in the game, because we're playing a lot through Martinez and going down that left-hand side and going towards probably the strongest side for West Ham and Wan-Bissaka. We weren't getting the ball wide enough, quick enough. We weren't getting the balls in the box enough. We weren't shooting from outside the box enough because it was so congested. It was a stinky low block from a team which is in the relegation zone, right? It's exactly how you would expect them to play. They got their goal. And I'm going to go back to that mistake. Sure, man. I said it in the build-up to this game. Said this game's probably going to be won and lost by United's two fullbacks, Delo and Shaw, because the threat from West Ham was going to come from Bowen and come from Somerville. Somerville had Delo on toast. Bowen had Shaw in his pocket the whole game, basically. Nah, maybe that's a little bit hard. No, it's not. Shaw got bettered by Bowen at pretty much every single turn. And that decision there, mate, just run and engage with that ball. You've got Martinez behind you, and if you do miss it, he can cover the space. But don't let that ball bounce. That is an under-9s thing. Get out of defence. Don't let the ball bounce. Basic error from United there. And as I said, we didn't have our main man really in that game at all. And Ahmad wasn't in it. And Burma wasn't in it. Bruno wasn't in it. Cunha wasn't in it. West Ham just had... It stinks. It's been such a kryptonite of this football club for so many years, and it still is. Carrick bringing off Delo and putting on Xerxes, trying to get an extra body, trying to switch the shape up. It's not really like you could look at towards the subs in the game management and go, oh, he made a huge mistake. Sesko, I was annoyed. If I'm going to be annoyed at something, then I'm probably annoyed that we didn't just bring Sesko. How long did we bring him on? About half an hour to go? I think so. Whip the ball in. Whip the ball in earlier. The whip ball in was how Xerxes nearly scored. Flicked header from Bruno's cross just past the post. We scored the equalizer because we swung the ball in. I don't know why we weren't doing that more, because we were getting in positions, and I suppose West Ham were doubling up on us in those positions. But I feel like if we decided to start whipping in more crosses earlier, I think that game probably could have changed. And mate, of course it was offside by a kneecap. That, I think, is now the 6th goal. 3 against City, 2 against Spurs, 1 against West Ham, that have been ruled out for offside. And yeah, I can't possibly sit here and say that's 2 points dropped after how that game has gone. I think a draw is a fair result. It was two teams who largely cancelled each other out in the first half. They were defending in a really, really, really deep shape. And United had more possession of the ball. Two kryptonites right now for Manchester United. One, when we play low block. Two, when we have more than 50% of the ball. I feel like both of those two things existed in this game. Lenny Yoro, to his credit, came on for Harry Maguire, who, by the way, no lip reader, but it looked like feels like he's done his hamstring. We'll find out, but that didn't look particularly good. But well done, fair enough, to Lenny Yoro, who came on, made a couple of pretty important tackles. I suppose we wouldn't have got a draw out of it. But I'm going back to that again. Like as negative as I could be about the frustrations of that low block, and I can be, and there's going to be the talking points going forward. Mate, Sesko, I'm going to say again, how on earth did he score from there? You watch it in the replay, that is completely calculated. Just the deftest of touch, knocks it into the top corner. That's an absolute world-class finish. And, mate, Ahmad was running through towards the end, and I'm sure you were the same as me and screaming at him. Mate, United could have made it. I know what's going to piss me off most about this? People are going to still talk about that pleb with his hair. Yawn, yawn, yawn. But that's what it is watching United against low blocks. How in the world do you break them down? How in the world do we break them down? Do I think that we played with enough tempo with the ball? I don't think so. Shifting from left to right can force the defence of the opposition to move across and create gaps you can sometimes exploit. Don't think we were playing fast enough for there. But West Ham was sitting so deep. Like Bowen was doubling up big time with Wan-Bissaka, and Somerville as well with Diouf on Ahmad. We couldn't get a look in. We couldn't get the ball wide quick enough before those two doubled up on us. It was an absolute job in terms of the defence, but they had their moment that goes forward, and that's what a Nuno team is going to do when he's in a relegation scrap. I can't begrudge them for the way that they approach this game because of where they are in the league. If we were in that position in the league, I imagine we would have to play in a similar fashion. But we didn't do enough to try and pick it apart. It's these games where the better team, which is Manchester United in this game, is going to be expected to be the better footballing team, to find those moments, to pick apart a low block. Oh, that worked until it didn't. Look at that lovely through ball over the top. Look at that cross that we've whipped in and got a header at the back post. United didn't have those moments. I think we could have and should have whipped it in earlier to get Sesko on the ball more, cause some problems. I think we made it a little bit too comfortable for West Ham in terms of breaking the low block down. At the very least, we didn't lose that game. And that's 5 unbeaten for Carrick. Chelsea, they drop points against Leeds, so they don't gain anything on us. Villa play tomorrow, and no doubt teams around us will drop points. It's stinky. Watching United play against a low block, it's still stinky. Carrick hasn't found the formula in his first game there, and that's what's undone his winning streak. But Sesko, take a bow, lad. Because that was an absolute worldie of a finish. We needed that.